I'm a philosopher, dude. I'm a scientist, dude. True philosophers do not care. Watch, I could care less. That's one of the worst critiques that I get of my project. One of the things the haters always say that ruffles my feathers the worst is when they call me a grifter. I hate this. People are constantly calling me a grifter. I could care less about money, dude. Like, if people knew me, they would know how little I care about money. Also, first of all, while we're talking about this, I am a professional statistician, essentially. I have expertise in forecasting and time series modeling. Like, this is very valuable stuff. I could be making much more money if I wanted to be making more money. Let's just get that out of the way, first of all. I could easily get a job that pays at least $100,000 a year. Almost certainly, I think. I honestly think that's true. I'm pretty sure. And so the fact that I'm working my ass off trying to do something new and significant on the internet is really a testimony to how little I care about money, honestly. If I wanted money, I would be doing totally different things. So no, I'm not money hungry. I'm not a beggar. Also, I don't even really ask anyone for shit. Like, I sell things, but I actually do relatively little kind of promotional bullshit to get more patrons and all of that. So that would be the second argument I would make. But you know what? These people, they don't listen to arguments. They are idiots. The people who make these kinds of claims. I feel like I need to do something. Like, what can I do, Ben, to prove to people that I am not a grifter, that I don't give a shit about money, that I'm optimizing for something else? Like, is there anything I could do that could convince people? It's like, I'll give my money away if people want me to.
I mean, that's a good start.
Like, no, I don't even want to give my money away, because that's a way of caring about it. Like,
True, yeah.
I don't think other people should have money either. Like, no one should care about money, is the way I think about it. So I don't want to I could give people money to show that I don't care about it, but in a way that would be kind of valorizing it. And it'd be like virtue signaling, essentially. If I went around giving money, it'd be like virtue signaling.
Exactly.
I tell you what, I will literally just burn money that I have.
That works too, yeah.
Also, by the way, people, I have a lot of fucking money. I'm pretty rich, to be honest.
That's actually true.
Hang on. So,
I can vouch for that. It's my
20, should I burn a 20? Nah, that's peanuts.
Come on.
And,
you're like drowning.
Oh, I do have a hundo in here. All right, there we go. Fine. I'll fucking burn this right now for the lulz, just for the lulz. You think I won't? Do you think I won't? Do you believe me?
I believe you. Yeah.
Is there a lighter? Where is it?
Should convince your audience.
I'm gonna prove that I'm not a grifter. That I don't give a shit about money. I'm not a hustler. I'm not a money hungry whore. Okay. I could care less about money. I'm so much more powerful than money. True intellectuals have no need for money. True intellectuals would give it away. If they don't have any, they don't really care. Sure, we do need to get money to live, and I do try to get money to live. I'm not ashamed of that. But I would rather live a free man and have no money than live a dependent man with money. And to prove it to you, I will just show you how little I care about money. I care less. We'll go outside. Watch. You think this means anything to me? You think I care about Benjamin Franklin? Hell no, motherfucker. I'm a philosopher, dude. I'm a scientist, dude. True philosophers do not care. Watch. I could care less. Oh, hang on. Look at that. I'm gonna burn my hand off. Ugh. I feel absolutely nothing right now. No, actually, I do feel something. I feel powerful. I feel extremely powerful. This is a very powerful gesture. If you want to show the world how little you care about instrumental rationality and how dedicated you are and committed you are to the philosophical life, you better do shit like this or you're not legit. Dude, I can make this back tomorrow if I want to. If I want to get money, I'll just go get money. Money's not like that hard to get. People, burn myself. There you go. Go to hell, Benjamin Franklin. Actually, Benjamin Franklin's pretty cool. I like him. But
yeah, that's what his name is. Sure.
Yeah, look, like if I want money, I can just go get money. I just ask people for it. I can make things of value. I could get a real job. It's not fucking rocket science, people. I'm not a grifter. I don't care about money. I'm trying to live a true intellectual life, which means just thinking and writing. And yes, I occasionally sell things. I occasionally invite people to become a patron of mine. But I don't care that much about it. I hardly even ask people. So I'm not a grifter. You're a motherfucking grifter. Come inside, Ben. Bitches be wildin' if they think I care about money. Think I care about money? That's what I do every day. That's all I do. Read, write, lift weights. Try to do 4 sets of 20 twice a day. When I do this, I think about my haters on the internet. I think about if I ever encounter them on the street, I'm gonna be ready to take care of them. This is what real philosophers and scientists do. They don't think about money. I care less about money. I have no need for money. I make people want to throw money at me. I have to decline them. In all seriousness, though, if you really look at the biographies of great men, great intellectuals in particular, women can be great intellectuals also, no doubt. I didn't mean anything by that, but, you know, historically, the intellectual has been a role occupied by men. If you actually look at how the great intellectuals, how their lives play out, you do actually see this pattern, I'm not kidding, where true intellectuals have total disregard for money. They spend all of their time and effort trying to figure out the truth, whatever that is in their domain. If they're an artist, that's going to be a artistic form of the truth. If they're a writer, it's going to be a written form of the truth. But these are all forms of truth seeking, essentially. And if you look at what happens, the ones that are the real deal, the most radical genius artists and intellectuals, they get so obsessed with what they're doing, which for long periods of time makes no money. It has no monetary value at all, really. But because they get good at it and because they get so passionately possessed by what they're working on, they get so obsessed with what they're doing, in a way, it then has this strange tendency, repeatedly throughout history, to bring the powerful and the wealthy to them. And before they know it, the powerful and the wealthy start kind of volunteering to give these people money. You see this, I'm not kidding. And I actually do think that there's something empirically sophisticated about this. There's something kind of social scientifically accurate about this model. It's almost a kind of principle or law. One of my favorite examples is Leonardo da Vinci, right? Leonardo da Vinci was a genius, obviously, in many ways. And he, spent a lot of time essentially doodling in his notebook, coming up with crazy ideas that were not at all ready to be implemented. A lot of his effort was essentially, had no value to anyone in any type of immediate sense. But because he was such a genius, and precisely because he was so disconnected from the petty, stupid, instrumental concerns of this world, he got really good at a lot of things. And at one point, the anecdote goes like this. He was able to draw a really sophisticated map of a particular territory. I think it was also a kind of diagramming of the fortress of, correct me if I'm wrong, we can fact check this later. I think it would have been Caesar Borgia, I think, if I have the names right. I could be mixing that up with someone else. But it was some great ruler at the time, some very powerful, kind of wealthy, noble and political ruler of some form. He was able to essentially map out the terrain with such detail, thanks to his, attention to detail, his kind of artistic prowess, obviously, but also, again, just because of his radically disinterested, disengaged mentality. For him, it was essentially doing doodles. He was just obsessed with doing things for their own sake. But lo and behold, he comes up with this really sophisticated and accurate and compelling map or diagram of something locally, better than anyone was able to do, including Caesar Borgia himself, if I'm getting that name right. And what happened was Caesar Borgia essentially started throwing money at him. He was like, I need you on my team. I need your help. I need to, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you learned to do all this, but whoever you are, you're getting on my team. I need you. And started throwing money at him. And that's just one good example. I could think of many more. But had Leonardo da Vinci actually been concerned to impress Caesar Borgia, or wanted to get a job, or wanted to make money with his skills, he would never have been Leonardo da Vinci. He wouldn't have gotten that kind of obsessive passion that allowed him to do the work that ultimately, in a paradoxical way, became really marketable and commercially valuable and attractive to people in power, to the point that people in power were essentially falling over themselves to buy him off. Because that is what true intellectuals become. They become dangerous. There's nothing more dangerous in the world than a true intellectual who is so obsessed with the passionate project of seeking the truth that they're seeking, and that they actually get on the track of doing it. Once that radical intellectual gets on that track, they become ungovernable. They become completely resistant to any types of kind of institutional compromises and the various ways in which the status quo institutions and pressures are so good at kind of buying off human vitality, essentially, and suppressing it and dominating it. They become ungovernable and they become immune to that. And the result is that powerful people and wealthy people have to start offering them more and more money just to keep them under wraps, just to be able to channel their kind of explosively powerful capacities. And I really do think that's actually a general law of society. That's something you see in many times in many places. And people think I'm often, kidding, because I know sometimes I do take a somewhat comedic register, but I'm dead serious when I talk about this being essentially the calling and the requirement of anyone who wants to be a genuine, true scientist or philosopher or artist. I really do think that. Fuck, now I want to check if it's actually Cesar Borgia. I hope so. I think it is, actually.